So, good morning. Here we are for another episode of our Youth Veterinarian Initiative with my co-host Monique Wells out of Paris, France, who is also a veterinarian pathologist. I always get those words, guys. It's so hard for me to say. And we have educators on with us from New York, and our very special guest, Veronica Stork, who is coming to us out of Piscinas, California. And as you can see, her two special friends are right there in the camera, and that's Yoda and Isa. So Veronica, I want to thank you for coming on. But before we bring you on, Veronica, I just want to give my my counterpart a moment to speak. Monique, you've got the floor.
Okay, hello everybody. I am super excited about today. I'm glad to see kids on. I'm glad to see educators on. I'm glad to see veterinarians on. And I am so glad this is going to be our first YVI session. Well, other than Sharita, who has always, got her chickens and her barnyard fowl always running around. But a lot of what we've done for the first 3 sessions has really just been like PowerPoint presentation. So today is the first day we're going to have a guest on who's going to actually show us some live animals and large animals. So I am ready to give the floor over to Veronica Stork and her goat friends, Yoda and Isa.
So Veronica, thank you again for being on with us today.
It is my pleasure.
You know,
And the goat's
I
pleasure.
was I see you've got stuff there to feed them. I was kind of afraid that with all of the fires that's going on there in California, are they stirring right around you there in Northern
Are
California?
there a lot of fires? I haven't noticed that
Fires.
there were that. Are there a lot of fires? I did not notice that. I looked on the fire map and there don't seem to be that many that are
Oh,
out of control. There's maybe 2 in the north, but
yeah.
they've been excellent about the fires. We had a fire right outside the back door, burned about 200 acres. And I came
Uh-huh.
out and there was a wall of black smoke and orange, and I started throwing the goats in the van and everything in the van, and
Uh-huh.
they pulled out all the stops and had it gone in about, they had that fire down in about 2 hours. They brought in super tankers from Fresno. They had 4 helicopters working it. They had 2 big 4-prop planes, and
Now, when was
what
this,
they're doing,
Veronica?
this was a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Because they're still burning around you, but I forget you don't watch television. So yeah,
No,
they're at least we've been hearing a lot about them.
there's nothing really burning around me around
Oh,
here.
okay.
I even looked
That's
at the Cal Fire map the other day, and maybe television is showing you old maps.
okay.
Because what they're
Well, then,
doing is they're going in and putting them out like immediately. They have been, Cal Fire has been excellent at just getting on a fire immediately and doing it. And they're wonderful to watch. I mean, they corral a fire like it's a group of animals. Stop that.
wow, wow. Well, speaking of animals, I see we have our two special guests right there, and they're eating something. What are they eating right now?
They're eating oak leaves. This one,
Oh,
Yoda,
okay.
is a Nigerian dwarf. She's an African goat.
Uh-huh.
Her species comes from Africa. And when she came,
Hmm.
she had what's called stargazes. So she would throw her head back. It's a neurological condition. So it has to do with nerve and things like that. And I was told she would not live very long. She was a year old when we got her. But
Wow.
so she would be throwing her head back all the time, straight up like that. Like, can you do it again? and
So,
and
so you call it
I heard
stargazing, but
what,
literally something is making her throw her head back.
yeah, it's a nervous condition,
Ah,
and
and all
it
of them,
was nothing.
or just yours? Oh, I'm sorry.
Say that again?
In all goats, or that kind, or just
No,
your goat?
just this one. And I asked some vets I know about it, and they said it was due to the mother not having enough nutrition when the
Uh,
goat was in her stomach, right? And
okay.
so what I did was in the spring, I fed her spring grass. And then
Hmm.
during the year, they get, in addition to organic alfalfa, they get things like this. They get to roam around and eat the lower goat leaves, oak leaves.
Okay,
And
which goes to show that even with goats, nutrition is important.
nutrition is important with all animals. Yes,
Yes.
extremely important. And and they get very jealous. Yeah,
And those
because
are just regular, just oak leaves off the tree. You've just gone and pulled some branches.
right, I cut some branches off. Yes, just little ends
Oh,
of
uh,
branches.
yes,
And
yes.
yeah,
Now, Veronica,
but when she
um,
first ate the spring grass, she stopped.
uh-huh.
She used to throw her head back all like she couldn't do this when she was younger. She could not do all this crazy stuff.
Mm.
Her head
Ah,
would be flipping back and up. So when she first ate the spring grasses, it stopped like 50%. And then that
wow.
year when she ate the acorns that dropped, it went away almost completely. Now she
Mm.
rarely has it.
Mm.
So
And you
often
can
it's
see she's
wonderful
nice.
that you have, it's wonderful that you have your gates where they can free your goats where they can free range like that. So possibly if you would have just had her locked up and not feeding her the same thing, are you saying that it's possible she wouldn't be here now?
Yes. And now
Wow.
she's about 7 years old.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And
So now,
and that
how long
free
have you had
ranging,
your
I
goat?
think. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just asking how long have you had your goats?
I have had them about, I've had Isa about 8 years, I think, and
Uh-huh.
Yoda about 7.
And the one that we see the most in the camera that you said is
Is the
stargazing,
most
that is Yoda.
That's Yoda, and she's a Nigerian dwarf, and she's very, very active. So she's
Yeah.
never still. If she's not
Oh,
bumping me like this, she'd be bumping Isa. And Isa is
okay.
twice her size, but she's a bully.
Uh-huh.
Stop,
Okay, so now tell me
stop.
this. For someone that's interested in getting goats, of the two, obviously the Nigerian dwarf is more active. So if kids are thinking of getting goats, and if they're beginners, have never had goats before, do you know enough about the other goats or whatever to kind of give some advice on what someone would start with?
Well, I've had all kinds of goats. And really, the thing about goats is if you get a doe, which is a female goat, you don't want to get a billy goat. Um,
Hmm.
the billies are the males. If you get a doe, they are so trainable. They're very, very trainable. They're very smart. People actually train them to be house trained. These guys
Ah,
are not house trained, by the way.
I mean, house trained to be
But
in the house and then go outside to go to the bathroom?
yes, they are
Wow.
very, very trainable. They're very smart. Um, Isa, when she was young, if I put my fingers near her, she'd bite really hard.
Uh-huh.
And I think you so said to me, you said, well, she's going to be around kids. She can't be doing that. So I trained her not to bite. Just by every time she did it, I'd say no and take my finger away
Mm.
and then
Uh-huh.
give her a
Okay.
treat.
Oh, good. And about how long did it take before that training took?
That was not at all. I mean, I'd say a week. Of course, you can see
Oh.
she's still spoiled. She thinks she should be the star of the show all the time. Yeah.
Okay. So now, when as far as taking care of goats, how much space do they need? If someone is considering getting a goat and they do have a yard, how much space does a goat need?
Well, you know, that is an interesting thing to ask because here's the other thing. You can train goats to walk on a leash. Both of these guys are leash trained.
Oh,
So I can take them anywhere on a leash.
Uh-huh.
okay.
I'm
Okay.
I'm just going to leave the camera for a minute and go up there, and it'll be just a second. I want to get some eucalyptus leaves, okay?
O-
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
be right back.
Now,
Okay.
as Veronica is doing that, are there is there anyone that may have a question that you may have in mind that you want to ask Veronica for when she gets back? I see that. Hi, Bailey. How are you, my dear?
I'm
Bailey,
good.
where are you? What
I'm
city?
I'm back.
I'm in Houston.
Houston. Well, nice for you to be on. And then Danielle Corbin is out of the Bronx, New York. Is it Hashika? Hashika? Where are you coming to us from? And Veronica, that was really quick.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
them cut already. I was just going to go get them.
and then Maria, where are you coming to us from? What city?
Hi, I
Hi.
am I am in St. Kitts in the Caribbean.
Yes, yes. Thank you for being on.
Yeah,
And
yes, I'm in the
yeah,
Caribbean.
we have you twice. I'm assuming that you got probably a guest with you. And Onika is out of New York also, is an English teacher. And then again, we have our my counterpart, Monique Wells, out of Paris, France. So just wanted to kind of do that little check up on who we have while Veronica ran to do that. So
Well,
Veronica, you went and got,
where is Hashika from? I didn't hear.
she didn't come in.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if
Okay.
she doesn't have voice or I didn't want to force that. Let's see, ask to unmute. I'll ask to unmute. And Hashika, you can chime in on any time just to let us know where you are. Now, Veronica, you went to get some leaves, you said? Some different leaves?
Eucalyptus. I cut down a eucalyptus tree this summer and it keeps sprouting, and they love the eucalyptus sprouts,
Uh-huh.
which to me is
Oh,
counterintuitive, but
yeah. Well, it definitely is going to give them a different taste, right? Oh, I see that there's something in the chat. Oh, Hashika said she's in Houston and she says thanks. Oh, Monique said thanks. Okay.
Yes.
Um, you know what, Veronica, just this week I was watching the news and Riverside or Riverfront Park in New York,
uh,
they just brought about 20 goats to the park and people would swarm there and were taking pictures and all of that. And because they want them to eat all of the underbrush, even poison ivy. I didn't know goats could eat poison ivy and it not bother
goats,
them.
yeah, goats can eat pretty much anything. You know,
Wow.
anything that would be not just palatable, but um, but would be digestible, right? People always say, oh, they eat tin cans and stuff. They don't. They're just curious. They like to go and look at things. You put something down and they will immediately go and there you go. Here. Go and try to find it.
Yeah.
Just try to like turn it around, look at it. What is it? Pick it up, taste it. Is it edible? How does it smell? You know, they're very, very curious like that.
Yeah. You know,
And
cartoons will make you think some things that are just crazy. Because I know in cartoons, I always saw goats eating tin cans and everything, and I believed it.
yeah, and tin
Yeah.
cans aren't, you're not able to eat them,
So
unfortunately.
now,
They're making some fungi now that could possibly process plastics and tin cans, but goats can't.
Okay.
ah, okay, okay. So now, what other kinds of goats have you had? And then I want to come back
I've had
to,
Nubians. I've had
okay.
Nubians.
Now,
I've
are
had,
Nubians large goats?
say that again. Nubians they're a regular sized goat. They're about the size of, let's see, can you see Isa in the background there? They're about the size of Isa or larger. Now, Isa is a
Oh,
very gentle goat, but she's very jealous. So she will actually, she will attack a dog because dogs like to play with Yoda because she's about their size.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
But I can't have dogs around them because Issa will turn around and attack a dog. And she could kill a
Ah,
dog.
oh, okay.
and
Like
and
by
how would
kicking
she,
it in front of
how would she go about killing the dog?
Her head, her forehead is very, very strong. So she would butt them. And just like deer, she can rear up and put her full force on her front paws. Now,
Mm,
she couldn't do it for very long. Somebody would get very hurt, but it wouldn't be a pretty thing. It wouldn't be nice. Yeah.
okay.
Wow. Wow. Now, Veronica, you're about what, 5'5"? So if you stood up, if Issa, I see she's the larger one, her head
Uh,
would come to you where? Above your waist?
she would actually be, she'd be taller than me. I'm 5'7". She'd probably be at least 6 feet when she stood up. Yeah.
On
Oh,
her
if she
hind
stood up on her
limbs.
hind leg.
On her hind legs. Yeah.
Yes. But now standing on all
Oh, I
fours,
see.
how,
Standing here.
where
Hang
would
on.
her
Let
head
me see. Isa, come here. Come on. Goats are also stubborn.
go?
Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
okay. So
Isa.
I was trying to get, I've seen them, been around them when I come to the ranch, but I wanted them to, especially the
So
kids, to
this is
see
Yoda.
how tall they are. So they're
This is
about the
Yoda.
height of a
York and
large dog.
Nigerians. Right. And Nigerians are, they come in another size too, which is pygmy, right?
Mm,
So the pygmy goats are very, very tiny. They'll come to your knees.
okay.
Uh-huh. I've seen those a lot. I've seen people that are actually doing yoga with the goats, and the goats are actually climbing up on the individuals as they're doing yoga. Have you seen that?
No, but I posted two videos about 5 years ago, I think, and one
Uh-huh.
is Yoda doing ear separation. So she's just lying there in the sun, and slowly, Isa, stop that. And slowly, she will move her. She'll just stay perfectly still, except she will slowly move one ear forward and back, and the other ear forward and back. And that's on our Toadshire on Toadshire or Toad Flats. It's Toad Flats on YouTube. And then
Oh,
there's a
okay.
video of Yoda doing sun salutations.
Oh my
Nope,
Yes. Yeah.
goodness.
Yoda's doing the ear separations, and Issa's doing the sun salutations.
Oh, okay. Tori, thank you for joining us. Now, Veronica, with some of the youth that are also interested in being veterinarians,
Mhm.
let's talk about the health as far as issues, if any. Out of all the years that you've had them, are goats prone to a lot of illnesses or anything like that?
You know, the thing I have learned with dogs, with goats, with chickens, is that if you give them very good nutrition, you don't have to do anything else. You
Mm,
give them nutrition, exercise, fresh air, and you've got healthy. It's just like us. It's just like humans. Um,
mm-hmm.
so I have not known anybody else. You know, they do have things like weakening at the ankles, stuff like that, but that's all nutrition
Mm.
related.
Oh, okay. Now, earlier you said with if someone was considering getting a goat, do not get a billy goat, a male goat. What is the reasoning for
Yeah.
that? Why do you say that?
Male goats are rude. They're very rude. And they can stink. And they are
So it's a
tougher.
person thing
Right
more
now,
so?
if you get a wether, I know people that have wethers as pets, and they have small, stop. Uh,
I'm sorry, what's
they have
weather?
small, a wether is a castrated billy goat. A billy is an
Okay,
intact male billy goat, and a wether is
okay.
been castrated. So people
So
do get
it's
those for
like being
pets.
neutered.
Say that again? Yes, neutered. That's the
It's
word.
like
Yeah.
being neutered. So a wether is a male goat that has been neutered.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And
So
so
now go
they
ahead with
I
what you were saying
make
about.
very good pets. They make very good pets.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, smell is important, especially with a parent and pets and kids. You said they stink. Do they smell worse than female goats?
Yes. If they're intact. The
Ah,
neutered goat does not have the same kind of hormones and things like that. So
uh-huh.
they don't.
Oh, so I've heard people say, you know what, I don't want a goat because they stink. I hate stinky goats. And Veronica, I've been at your ranch months at a time,
They don't
and
stink.
I didn't recall that your goats smelled.
They
So
don't.
so
Healthy
that was
animals
why.
don't smell. Say that
Okay.
again. So that
Okay.
was no, I heard all the rest.
So
So that was
so
the
that's
last.
why that a lot of people may not like goats is they've been around billy goats who are intact, who have still all their hormones, and they have a stronger smell than
Right.
goats, female goats, or goats that have been neutered.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And
I
healthy
can,
Uh,
animals don't smell. Like you probably even noticed, some dogs have bad breath.
yes.
uh-huh.
And if you feed that dog um, food that has a natural kind of menu, Sarah, like my dogs eat raw meat, they eat bones, they eat a lot of vegetables. Because the thing I noticed when I was young was that when I took dogs to the park, they would graze on everything, wild turnip leaves, everything. And then I
Mm-hmm.
looked at coyote scat, and coyotes in our area live an average of 17 years. And so I asked, why can't dogs do that? And I started looking at coyote scat and
Meaning coyote
and
poo.
right, and
Okay.
looked at what they ate and started feeding the dogs more like that. And it's long been known that if you have a dog with bad breath, add parsley to their food, and their breath starts to sweeten up. But that's because of the nutrition in parsley.
Ah, okay. That's good to know. Because my little Joy that was just on my lap, some days her breath is really bad.
Yeah, you can go to
Any
any one
questions?
of my dogs, Sharita, and have them kiss you full in the face, and they will have better breath than any human.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh,
and I shouldn't say that on this program, but it's because of what they eat.
okay.
It's the difference in food.
Okay. Okay. That loud noise, you guys, are my guinea. They're right here and they're extremely loud. So, are there any questions from anyone? Yes, Bailey. Unmute yourself, dear.
My question was, if you feed your dog like kibble and stuff, is that bad or is it okay?
Veronica.
Oh, Sharita, you know my opinion, my
She's,
thoughts
she's
on that.
thinking of how to
I
answer
know.
that.
Yeah,
She's
I
trying to be
got to tell
politically
you what
correct.
I do. I never feed my dogs kibble. Dogs have a much shorter intestinal tract than we do. And basically, you can even see it in this poop that the dog has. With kibble, they make these big, smelly poops. When they eat a food that they can fully um, use, then everything's different. Their coats shine all the time. Their breath is sweet, their poop is less and less smelly. Although when I put turmeric in my dogs because I have older dogs and I give them turmeric capsules for their joints, and their poop smells like curry.
Wow.
Well, that's a much more pleasant poop. Yeah. Bailey, thank you for your question. Do you have anything else? Veronica, if Bailey wanted to start feeding her dog
Uh-huh.
something other than what she's feeding her dog, and I know that you feed raw meat, what can you advise that maybe she could add to her dog's diet?
Um,
Excuse me.
you could start if you're feeding kibble, you could start by adding some finely chopped up things like parsley, uh, kale, because they say that kale has acid in it, but I've been feeding kale to dogs for 40 years and they've all done well on it. So you could chop up some kale, just chop it up fine, or parsley is really good because it's easy to chop up, and you can start adding that. A good quality raw egg, the whole egg once in a while is great. Fat, like you could add some. Say you're with somebody and they're trimming the pork fat off of a piece of meat. You can put that pork fat in your dog's meat. That's food. It's a very, very good for them. In Germany, they feed their dogs their working dogs 50 to 75% fat, because that's where all the nutrition is in the fat of the meat, and it's all absorbable.
So Veronica,
If that makes any sense, okay?
I've heard people say that you shouldn't feed your dogs table food. In actuality, that's cooked in the way that we probably cook, that we shouldn't even cook for ourselves. But you're saying
Right.
a lot of the stuff that
When
we
it's
eat, like the fat from the meat and things like that, when it's not fried in lard or that
lard
those
is
things are
okay.
good.
Lard is good.
Oh, okay. Okay. Or
But
the
the thing
cooking oil.
about table scraps and also feeding things that are made like dinners that are already come prepared, you don't know what's in them. And all you need is like, say, just a little bit of what's like the yellow packets of the fake sugars. A little bit of that
Oh
can kill a
yeah,
dog, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to know what
Aspartame.
you're feeding them. Yes, exactly.
Ah, okay. Because sugar is really bad for dogs.
Well, especially the fake sugar, right? And they can die from that. So you
Okay.
don't want, you don't want to just feed them anything that's packaged or that you don't know what's in it. Like I don't
Oh,
let Tony give our dogs, even like he'll give them treats of cooked meat. I don't even let him do that because I don't know what's in the barbecue sauce he used or the
ah,
spices. Yeah.
Mhm.
okay. Okay. Well, now, Veronica, our show is normally 30 minutes. We do allow it to run over for whatever reason, but we are at that hour. Is there anything that you would like, anything else you'd like to share about someone that may want goats or what's going on with yours?
Well, goats are lovely. They're each different, but you have to pay them attention. If you
Mm,
leave them alone in a backyard or something like that, it's just like dogs. They're just like a dog. They'll become your friend. They'll become your um, confident, confidant. They'll become somebody you can talk to all the time, somebody who'll walk alongside of you on walks, and you can leash train and off leash train. Um,
hmm.
but you would have to spend time with them.
So, like any other animals, they're better the more attention and time that you give them, just like a
Yes.
dog or even people.
Yeah, like see,
Yes.
she loves to kiss my face.
Yeah. Are there any other questions before we close out for today?
Bailey had a question.
Oh, yes, Miss Bailey.
Oh,
Oh,
not
oh, you don't?
anymore.
Not anymore. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We have two
Bailey,
Danielle
do you
Corbin.
have?
So there's somebody from Danielle's class is on with us.
It's Autumn. Autumn is on.
Okay. Hi, Autumn.
Hi, hi, Autumn.
Where she disappeared to?
Hi, good
Now,
morning.
Autumn,
Yes.
you're there in the Bronx also?
No, I'm in
No, I'm in New York.
New York, okay. And what grade are you in?
I'm going to 6th grade.
6th grade. Now, do you have any questions?
No, not really.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for being on.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bailey, what grade are you in?
I'm going to the 6th grade.
Oh, good,
Okay.
good, good, good. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a popular age group for us. Well,
It
Veronica,
is.
I want to thank you for being on with your beautiful girls and providing all of that information. And Onika, I see you've come on camera. Did you have any questions or anything?
You're muted.
You're
It was interesting listening to all the information, one of the misconceptions that I've always known was that goats eat everything. But based on what you explain, I know that they don't, and it's due to that it's not digestible in reference to that. So it was good information. My kids were here for a bit, and they were like, oh, there are two, there are two, there are two. So the goals trying to count as many as they can, but it was interesting to see and hear.
good. Well, I want to thank all of you for being on, and this is recorded, and so we will forward it to all that have registered so that you can feel free to share it with your friends, family, kids. Sometimes kids don't even know that they have an interest, like we all know that. And so please forward, tell others about it. This is a STEM project. It not only is about veterinarian, but exposing youth to science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. So again, Veronica, thank you so much for being on. Thank you, Monique. I know that it's late there in Paris. I always love that you and I are on together. And thank you for all of our guests from all over the world, actually. If there are no other questions, and Veronica, if you don't have anything else to share, then we're going to close out.
I have a
Thank you
question.
very much, Rita. Uh-huh.
I have a question. I would like to have Maria Jose talk about if there are goats in St. Kitts and if she has experienced any of the goats species or breeds rather that that you have spoken about, Veronica.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we have lots of goats and sheep here. And it's very tricky because actually sheep here, they do have short hair, so they don't have wool. It's a special breed, so it's Barbados breed, and they are very similar to goats. So it's very difficult for me. I was not really aware of, like sheep having short hair. So they are very similar. And what I was told is that sheep, they do have their tail towards, like towards the end of their hind limbs. And then goats, they do have their tails a little bit up. So that's easier to distinguish them because they are very similar and they look alike.
Wow.
And yeah, and they are very cute. We have them everywhere here. Usually shepherds, they leave them roaming around and they collect them back in the evenings every day. So we get to see them around the roads and they are really, really cute. So yeah, I love them. Those are one of my favorite animals ever. So I really enjoyed your presentation, Veronica. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You
That
know,
was
and
great. I really do remember that too, about the short-haired sheep. And that's wonderful that they leave them running around and you can just see them all the time and collect them
Yeah,
up. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're beautiful.
you know, Maria, with you saying that and even experiencing Veronica's land, now that I'm here, and that's one of the reasons why we want to let animals do free ranging, because people don't realize, even if they say they're not animal lovers, it's been people that have come here. And when you've got animals that know how to act around people, it provides an entirely different experience for people to just sit and let animals walk around them. And that's why, like, I forget the name of the park there in California, but you can just go and sit on benches and people go there and sit, and there's peacocks walking around or all kinds of beautiful birds. Or when people go to other places where animals are more free to roam and they get to experience what it's like to be around those animals, it's just really an entirely different experience. And that's one of the things that we're wanting to create here And if any of you are ever in Northern California, Veronica even has campers. So you want to experience her ranch, her wild farmers and ranch there. And she's right. Your closest town, Veronica, is it Gilroy?
It's Hollister.
Hollister. Okay.
Hollister. And this morning I woke up and I heard these voices, and there were some 3-year-olds feeding the goats.
Ah,
That's like 30 this morning. So it was really nice. 3-year-old little Chinese
yes,
kids.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So, Veronica, thank you again. And thank you, all of you, for being on. And Monique, as always, I enjoy us working together on this project. And if there are no more questions, you guys have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Thank you for giving us your Saturday morning and evening.
Wait.
And yes.
I want to say one thing that
Mhm.
Bailey's mom shared with me a couple of days ago. Because Bailey has been on all of our calls, Bailey is our 100% attendance student. Yay, Bailey. And
Oh,
Yay!
that's great.
yes. And because of what Bailey has learned from YVI, Bailey is now volunteering at an animal shelter.
Oh
Oh,
my
fantastic.
goodness. Oh, Bailey, that is excellent. And you know what? We have some books here that I'll get your address off of camera and I'll send you an email. And I'm going to send you a copy of Imani's book. And then also we had a special guest and I kept 2 of the books that Brian sent us, Monique. I'm going to
Mhm.
send a copy of both those books to you, Bailey, for being our 100% attendee.
Tell us
That's
about your shelter, Bailey.
It's Pearland Animal Shelter. It's not that big, but it's mostly dogs. But you get to kind of feed the dogs, give them toys that they need, take them on walks, give them baths if you need to do that, do laundry and stuff like that.
Okay.
And you're
Are you
doing
having
all of that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
That
amazing.
is excellent. Excellent. Congratulations.
Yes.
Wow.
YVI is doing its work.
Yes, yes, yes. Well,
And I
all right
want to thank
then.
both of
Ladies.
you,
Oh,
Sharita. I would like to thank both you
huh.
and Monique and everybody that attended for having me and the goats on this week. So thank you.
It was our
Thank
And
pleasure.
Bailey,
you.
if
And
you
thank you.
need
Thank
any,
you.
Bailey, if you need
Go
any
ahead. I'm sorry.
help or thoughts about eating or about feeding different kinds of things to your dogs, you can always contact Sharita for my contact information.
Yeah.
Good.
And I want to give a shout out to
Good.
Autumn too, because Autumn contributed the snake video from last time.
Ah.
Thank
Oh, and you
you.
know what? Before you ladies go, one of the things that I wanted to show, let me just show my screen really quick because, you know, Veronica, I spoke about New York and what they're doing with the goats. And I meant to let you guys know. I wanted to show that. So let's see. So here it is. And they said they're back. 24 goats eat their way through New York Park. And let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to get it to. There we go. So see all the people. I mean, they let them know that they were coming.
You bet.
And it's a project that they've been doing for a few years.
Okay.
Now see that
And
brown
I mean,
and
the
white
goats,
goat
they
in the
just
picture?
Oh yes. Uh-huh.
He's a boa goat, a boa, and those are meat goats. They don't use them for milk.
Oh,
Like
okay.
both goats of
What
mine
we
are
didn't
milk
talk
goats.
about.
Okay.
We didn't talk about the meat goats and the milk goats. So
Right.
they're either meat goats or milk goats.
Yeah, and there's some goats that
Right.
there is one breed especially that'll do both, but really they use them for meat.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
just like cows.
Well, again,
And
Yeah,
Nigerians, the
yeah.
one that Yoda is a very, very, they give very rich goat milk. They have like 25% butterfat in their milk. So they're supposed to be
Wow.
excellent
Ah,
for you, very good for you.
Wow.
okay.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I'm looking forward to our goats. We have two female goats, milk goats. I've named them Simone for Simone Biles and Serena for Serena Williams. And I named them goat because Simone and Serena are the greatest of all time of their sport, which are goats. So that's the name of our two goats. So I will share them. Well, there's a handsome young man. Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
We're glad.
Zachariah.
Say again.
Zachariah.
Zachariah.
Zachariah, nice to
Zach-
meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Zachariah, how old are you?
9.
Okay.
9. Thank you for being on. And I
Yeah.
hope that you heard information about the goats, but if not, you'll be able to play it back. Oh, there's someone else. Who's that peeking in
Hi,
here?
brother. Say your name. Hi.
Oh, he looks like he's older. How old are you?
11.
Okay.
11.
And what's your name again?
Zion.
Zion. Okay.
Zion.
Okay.
Zachariah
Fab.
and Zion. Thank you,
Fab.
gentlemen, for being on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. And look how loving he is.
Mhm.
Have a great day, a great weekend, and we will talk to you next time.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.